Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we are so close to 700,000 subscribers. Please join us. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Lots of people watch these videos who haven't. Don't leave it to everyone else to boost the algorithm and get our videos seen by more people. Help out. Do it. Okay, that's enough. Now, we've also, of course, got all sorts of content on Patreon. Do check that out as well. Extra Sudoku hunts every month. Well, a reward Sudoku hunt every month. Extra videos that include gridogram, connections, and tricky crosswords like the Times Monthly Club special that's up there at the moment. Tricky cryptics. So if you really want to advance your cryptic skills, that's a great place to go. We've also got apps which include classic Sudoku and the Worms. Nothing like today's puzzle in the apps, but yeah, there's many more things as well. We've got merch, for instance. You can get Cracking the Cryptic merchandise and really brand yourself with the channel. But check out all the links under the video. They'll take you to all these places, and they're all great. But the first link is to this puzzle. Now, Hanker has sent us this, and I don't think we've heard from Hanker before, so it's the first time. And it's based on a game of Go. Now, you may know Go, you may play Go. I once learned the rules of Go long ago, but I didn't know that Go had notation like this in the grid. But apparently that is how you notate the white and the black stones on a board, although of course they sit on the grid lines basically. But anyway, I mean, it's a brilliant idea that a game of Go can also be a Sudoku, and Hanker seems to have come up with a fantastically simple rule set. Although I say that, and I will go through it now and we'll see. So a Go game happens to be a Sudoku, it begins. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. We get one given digit in the middle of the puzzle. For each row or column, numbers on the same, let's take the middle row. Numbers on the same kind of piece must include no consecutive digits. Now, if you've seen yellow Nabna lines, you will know how they work, that if you've got 1 on a line, 2 can't be on it, because that would be a consecutive digit. So these 3 yellows in this row might be 1, 7, and 9, but they might be 1, 4, and 8. One just doesn't know. So they're sort of, for each row and column, both the X's and the O's, that's how I'm going to treat them. I probably ought to be calling them white and black, but I don't dare do that. They are like Nabnas. And then for each box, totally different rule, numbers on the same kind of piece share the same parity. So those 4 will probably be, well, I don't know, let's say they were odd. These would then be even, because you can't have more than 5 odds or 4 evens in a box. I mean, those are very simple rules, and to me they almost sound like they're overlapping, but I don't think they actually are. And I have a feeling I'm going to struggle with this, just with reading the grid and the concept, because it's quite odd to apply a different rule to rows and columns versus the rule you apply to boxes as well. I'm not familiar with that very much. Anyway, do give this a try, especially if you fancy it. You can check the video link to see how hard I'm going to find it. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So we've got some very filled in rows and columns, like column 2, which has got 4 X's and 4 O's in it. Now, what I know about Nabnas suggests that one of those sets might be 2, 4, 6, 8. Is that, I don't know if that's right. No, it's not necessarily right, because one of them could be 2, 4, 6, 9, and the other one could be 1, 3, 5, 8, actually. I was going to say 1, 3, 5, 7, but why? Yeah, the point I'm getting at is it felt when I was looking at this grid with a lot of these parity considerations in it, as though every 4-cell NABNA was going to be all the same parity within itself. And that's probably just from experience of NABNAs and things. And what I should have been thinking is that's irrelevant. That's not necessarily going to happen unless we find a 5-cell piece or what? Or, well, I was thinking 2 4s was almost as good, but it's not. So there's row 3. That's 4 and 4. Ah, look, there are 5 X's in row 4. So they must all be odd, because there are 5 different ones. The only NABNA line you could have is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, so that nothing was consecutive. So I can mark them as odd. What's more, I can mark everything else in the row as even. I could mark 1 as odd. And now that gives us the clue for these boxes. So for box 4, the odds are the X's and the evens are the O's. For box 5... no. I was just about to mark these as double blue. That's not what the rule says. It doesn't say X's and O's have to be opposite. They did have to be in this box because there are 6 of them. But in this box, they could all be the same parity. That's weird. These two could both be odd. In this box, there's 3 of each, so they have to be different. Once we get up to a count of 6, we know they're different. Now we've got all 4 evens in this box, so those are odd. And still I haven't ruled out for the row odd and even here. Oh, that's really strange. I don't know. I'm finding this a very odd puzzle. Are there any other fivesomes, quintuplets? We've got 4 there. 4 there. I don't know. If I suddenly spot one, I'll just shout out and start getting excited about it. Oh, well, there's 5 of the same type of piece in this box, so they must be odd, and everything else in the box is even. Well, no, I was going to make a deduction about this line, but now I'm scared to. About these NABNAs. I don't know. Oh, hang on though. Right, this column had 4 and 4, and we've got 3 blues. Now, is that going to force the 4th one to be the... No, it's not. This could be 2, 4, 6, 9 versus 1, 3, 5, 7. I don't know. I think it's very hard, actually, to make deductions about the parity in rows and columns. I think that's very hard in this puzzle. I don't see any comfortable way of doing it. I don't know yet. I mean, maybe I'm being suckered. Maybe we're going to find out that every NABNA is always the same parity, but that's certainly not specified in the rules. So I'm definitely not relying on that. This box has got definitely different parities because we've got 7 cells to color. There's 2 X's in column 5, but they could be the last 2 odds or the last 2 evens. I'm being very dense, probably. I just don't know how to go about this. I really don't. Three odds on a NAB. Oh, look, there are 5. I said I'd shout when I found one. There are 5 X's in this column. So that's a NABNA of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. They're all odd. Those are even. Right, now we've got a bunch more even cells. Now we know the color. No, do we know the colors in this box? Yes. X can't be even because all the X's are the same and we can't have 7 even. So X is odd. And X down here is odd. And actually blue is even. Sorry, X is odd and O is even. And now what about the column? Nothing about the column. But 5 orange in a row. So everything else is even. So now X in this box is even. That's all the evens in the box. Everything else is odd. Our count in this row is correct. In this row, we're going to need 1 of each. Oh, we can count this column and make that orange. Then we can count this box and make that even. And we know there's going to be 1 apiece up here. Right. Now, oh, look, 4 evens in column 2. So everything else is odd. These colors are not very conducive. I'm going to change the blue to light blue because it's being able to see the X's through them. I'm going to change the orange to yellow. Yellow is odd today and light blue is even. Now we can, well, you probably could see the X's very clearly before. This helps me. Now in this box, yellow, white, round, circle is yellow. I don't know what I'm saying. That's 5 yellow in this column. That's good. Everything else is even. Now, in this box, oh, we've had 4 yellow in the row. So the X's, which have to be the same, can't be odd. They must be even. Therefore, these must be odd in the box because there's so many of them. Now we've got all the odds in row 2. We can count row 3 and make that an even. Count box 1 and make that an odd. I hope I'm not making a mistake. Count box 3 and make that an odd. And this is 1 of each up here. This is 1 of each. These two, they're still messing with me. I feel like they're probably even. Oh, hang on, I haven't proved it. This column's got 4 even. That's odd. Now finally they are even, and I shouldn't have risked it early on, but had I made that mistake and that assumption, it wouldn't have got falsified. But now I know they're even because we've had 4 yellow in the row. And we need a 5th. There it is. We need a 4th blue there. I'm left with 4 digits, but I suspect these are 1 of each in the rows and the columns. And therefore I can't resolve those at the moment. Now finally, after 10 minutes nearly, maybe I can start thinking about numbers. I haven't thought about those at all. Now I've got to think about the Nabners. This 1 in the middle, I'm tempted to just highlight all the blue cells and write 2, 4, 6, 8 in them and then think about what that means, but it might obscure some of the piece types, and I need those for the Nabners. Yeah, this Nabner is 2 X's that are blue and 2 that are yellow. So 2 of them are even and 2 of them are odd. I think the 2 even digits have to be next to each other. Let's imagine the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, little ticker tape sequence. As soon as you have 1 even digit in the Nabner, the odds either side of it can't go in. So if you had 2, you can't have 1 and 3 on the Nabner. If you then tried to add a different not 4 after that, 6 or 8, you would have 2 other odd numbers that would be excluded, and then 4 odd numbers would be excluded from these 2 cells, and it would be impossible. So these 2 are consecutive evens in the sense that they're 2 apart. And that must apply. Look, this column's the same. There are 2 X's and 2 O's on each of the Nabners. So those are consecutive evens. Those two are consecutive evens. That doesn't apply in this row where these three are three odds on the, I mean, that just doesn't matter. I can't get this Nabna wrong as long as I obey the parity colouring. Here, yeah, here it's different. This column, we've got 4 odd X's and 4 even O's. If I'm meant to be able to tell something about the go position, by the way, from the beginning, forget it. I don't remember enough of the rules to do that. Feel free to drop a comment if you know anything about this game, but I doubt that it's relevant. Anyway, right. So this is the column. This is the good column. I started looking at this column in the puzzle, but I didn't realize it was that useful. I think it is. These two have to be consecutive evens, and these two have to be consecutive evens as well. So either that's the 2-4 pair, and that's the 6-8 pair, or vice versa. Ah, yes. So I'm going to colour them, although I don't think that's maybe the most vital thing to do, but I'm going to call those pink and these green. I don't know whether this is high or this is high. What I do know, actually, is that one pair is 2-4 and the other pair is 6-8, and neither Nabna in this column can have 5 on, because one of the Nabnas has got a 4 and one of them's got a 6. 5 must go in this cell here. I've got a digit. How about that after 12.5 minutes? The trouble is, it doesn't hold out much prospect of finding any other digits apart from 5s, and that's if I get lucky with another row or column. I mean, it doesn't help me put 5 in this row because not only it didn't take 5 out of any odd cell, it doesn't say anything about these things. Well, or does it actually? Actually, I might be wrong. If that is a... Oh, I've got a semi-problem here. Those two, I said, are consecutive. But earlier I said, aren't these two consecutive even numbers as well? Okay, I think I'm all right. I think I said these two might, for instance, be 2-4. But these two could be 4-6 with 1 and 9 in those cells. You couldn't have 3, 5, or 7 in. But as long as they are consecutive, it doesn't matter if they're high or low. They can be one of each. Obviously, they are one of each, because as I've coloured the 2 pink blues in this cell, I can now colour the 2 greens. Same up here. I can colour the 2 pinks. That one's green. This one's pink, because there are obviously 2 high blues and 2 low blues in every row and column. Right. This is a 4-6 pair. This is a 2-8 pair. This is a 2 or an 8. This, I think, has to be a 1-9 pair to be on the X line with 4 and 6. And that's quite powerful. Look, 3, 5, 7 and 1 from the centre all see this cell, and it's a 9. And that gives me a 1 here. I was trying to get excited about that. I suppose that stops this digit being a 2, but what of it at the moment? I'm not sure. Oh, there's some there's some geometry issues here. That digit is one of the 4 evens, but not those 3. So it's the same as that digit, which is in the same position. That digit is the same as that digit because it's different from those 3. Oh, how am I going to mark that? I might give them letters. Because I don't want to notice something like that and for it to be suddenly important and I've got no way of remembering it. So I'm going to call those 2 A and these 2 B. This digit is well, actually, okay, I was going to go, it's in one of those and it must be there, but it's the pink 2/8. So actually, it was always going to be the same as that. And we'll call that C because it's clearly not A or B, and we'll call this corner D. And this is AC. Yeah, that's not very helpful. Now, this is an X. That 9 is an O. That's not what I wanted. These digits are from 357 because they see the 9 now. That's probably not very useful. I bet this is the sort of puzzle where I'm just going to have to go in fits and starts. I mean, this digit is 3 or 7, and these are from 357 and include 5. So these are from 137 and include 1. Now, the X here, I mean, yeah, that's quite interesting. If this was a 2, we couldn't put 3 here, and that would be 3. If that was an 8, we couldn't put 7 here, and that would be 7. But all that's telling me is there's a 5 there, which I knew before. These are from 379. I mean, this is not getting me anywhere at the moment. So I think the helpful rows and columns are going to be those where Nabna lines are mixed between O's and X's. So actually, this one's not going to be helpful at all, even though it's got so many digits marked. This one, we kind of already know is helpful. So the X's are going to, okay, I can use the same polarity colors. They're going to be different polarity to pink. They're going to be greens because they're on a line, say that's 2, 4, the X's are 7, 9. So those are pink. And now I'm moving my polarities into the odd digits. So this row, no help because all the X's are one color, all the O's are another. This one, actually similarly, no real help. Once we've done the parity, we will achieve the Nabna. This one, no real help. I mean, there's a lot of these rows and columns that are no use. Column 2 is useful. Column 1's just got one X in. Column 3, now this has X's in different colors. So that digit, neither of these can be a 5 because they're with 4 or 6. And that can't be a 5 by Sudoku. So the 5 in the box is in one of those cells, and this must be the 5 in box 1. And that's quite surprising to be able to identify it. And what have we got in this row? We've got a useful X. Actually, we've got a sort of useful O Nabna, but X has got 4 sets, 2 of one, 2 of another. So again, this is either 2, 4, 7, 9 or 8, 6, 3, 1. And that means that these 2 yellows have the same polarity and it's not pink. So that's green. And these 2 X's have the opposite polarity, which is pink. And this digit is odd and must be pink. And this digit must be a green polarity blue digit. And I hope the terminology is not absolutely throwing you for a loop. I find it quite difficult to stay on top of as well, if I'm honest. Now, that was a 2 or 8, so that can't be this cell as well. This must be a green 4 or 6. That's quite interesting. So this sees both greens and is pink in the column. I don't know, okay, so this is the other blue-green that is 2 or 8 in the row because it's not 4 or 6. And in this row, we've got that 5, that even digit. Say that's 2 and that's 5. 1, 3, 4 are ruled out, and these must be No, it's the O's. These would have to be 7 and 9 if that was a 2. But if that's an 8, these are going to be 1 and 3. I mean, okay, that's not telling me anything new. But still, I'm interested in everything I can learn about this puzzle, because I do not find it easy to understand what's going on. Oh, look, B in this box can't be in those cells. It's in one of those. Can it be the green 4, 6? Oh, if it was, these two would be pink up here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it could be, but it could easily be one of these two and therefore be pink. It would, oh, it would be the 4, 6. Oh, that's really weird. Hang on. This digit sees green 2, 8 and pink 2, 8. So this is a 4 or a 6. I don't know its color, but I do know it's a 4 or a 6. The puzzle's just getting stranger by the moment. So this is a slightly useful row because there are different parity colors on the X's. I mean, yeah, oh, no, this could be a 5. That's really annoying. In fact, one of these two digits is a 5 in this column because it can't be on a green color and it's not there or there. So one of those is a 5 and there's nothing to stop it being in this row. It would force this digit to be a 2 or an 8, but that's potentially fine. In fact, this X is green. I hadn't noticed that. So it's from the same parity, the same polarity as this digit, which is from a different parity. So if that's 2, it's impossible then. This couldn't be 1 or 3 from the same polarity. So this one is going to have to be a 4 or a 6. And it's the same as that digit, and it's in one of these two places, and I still don't know if it's B. That's beastly. But that is a 4 or a 6. So that this can be a 1 or a 9. That's the only way it can be on the same Nabna in this row. That's quite interesting. This is therefore the 3 or the 7, the other green X in the same row. And this is green in the box because we've had the 2 yellow pinks, so that's 3 or 7. And these are either, well, this one is pink because it's not a 5 and it's not green. The 2 greens are there. That is a yellow pink digit. It's so annoying in a way to have discovered that the rows and columns where the X's are all one parity and the O's are all another parity are useless. Like they're not going to contribute any data on Nabnas because there's a lot of them. Okay, let's think about this digit. It can't be 5 if that's 4 or 6. Simple think. Simple think. So that is a 5. Now 5 is in one of these two cells in the top row. That's quite interesting. Maybe not. That's not 5. This Nabna's no use. No use. This column is meant to be useful for the Nabnas. We've had how the X has got 2. Has only got odd. No, this column is no use for the Nabnas. Sorry, the yellows are all odd and the blues are all. The X's are all odd and the O's are all even, so that is no use. There's a 3, 5, 6. I've noticed that. Obviously, that's the odd triple. Maybe I started A, B, C, and D in the wrong place. Maybe I should have started these as A, B, C, and D. I don't know. Now let's carry on with what I've got. A is in one of those two cells. A is there. These are A and C together. These are B and D. I'm not really getting those related. One of these is a B. Even that's not very strong. Okay, I'm just missing something wildly wide of the mark here. Now we've got this column which has got X's and O's in different colors, in different piece styles. So never mind about the X's, so only two of them. Let's do the O's. We've got one. Oh no, yes, we've got one even. Now that clearly can't be 2. Could it be 4? Then there's 2 more odds. If that was 4, these would be 7 and 9. I think that's all too possible. Ah, gosh. I still feel like if I could get a handle on it, I could move at some pace, but I'm not demonstrating that at all. I do know that. I also feel I'm quite a long way from getting a handle on it at all. I just can't even spot the columns that matter. This one, have we dealt with the ones? No, this can't be 2 because it's an X and there's a 1X. So this is 4, 6, or 8. Oh no, I was going to say the 2's in one of those cells. Those aren't the 2 remaining evens in this box. One is there and one is up here. Bother. But that's also X. Is that? No, it's not. Yeah, all this column is telling me is that digit can't be 2. Nothing else. Nothing else to learn from it. This column has a blue O as well as 3 yellow O's. Ah. So this can't be 4 or 6 then, can it? Oh, it could. If that was 4, the yellows would be 1, 7, 9. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, but this column is better. This one can't be 4 or 6 because there are... No, it's exactly the same. There are still 3 yellow O's to go with it, and they could be 1, 7, 9. Does that mean one of these has to be... I don't think it does. It has to be 4 and 6, or 1 has to be 2, 8. I don't know. I don't think it does mean that. I think I'm still searching, unfortunately, for something. Oh, we learned that B was a 4, 6 up here, so I could fill that in here. Don't know its color, but it is a 4, 6. That was because B saw both 2 8s. Yeah, maybe we need to spot something like that. Something where we can do a tiny bit of Sudoku thinking. Because I don't think I'm going to find anything where I can do a massive amount of Sudoku thinking. B in this row. B in this row could easily be that green 4, 6. Then that would be B. Let's just color B as green 4, 6 and see if it goes anywhere at all. So it's there. then it's in one of these two, any of these three, and goodness only knows in the middle. No, that doesn't seem to be a lot of use. I was so happy so many minutes ago when I got that was a 5, and I thought it was going to lead to an avalanche of deductions. It really has done the opposite. They've just dried up and dried up. I mean, useless row. I'm going to go full ham and put in some lines to demonstrate the important rows. That one and its X's. This one has yellows in different color and X's in different color. This is an important line all through. This middle row is no good. This row 6 is no good. And they've just got nothing to tell me. I've basically done row 7 as far as it can be done already. Now row 8's interesting because there are X's in different colors and O's in different colors, and maybe I haven't focused on that enough. Then I'm going to look at the columns as well, and this column is definitely helpful, although I've sort of dealt with it in terms of as long as I obey both color styles, that row will be fine. In this column is interesting because the O's are in different colors and the X's are in different colors, so that is quite an interesting column. This column has O's in different colors but not X's. Column 7 is useless. I've proved that time and time again. Column 8 is useless. And I'm afraid column 9 isn't even helping. So maybe I have looked at the right things, but I need to do better work with them. Now, let's look at this again. The X's, yeah, we know it's either 257 or 835. The O's, now I haven't thought about this enough. Because this digit, the trouble is it depends. If this is a 1, there's a degree of flexibility. This can't be 8 because of the 9. So this is 2, 4, or 6. That's A. Where's A? Here. 2, 4, or 6. So one of these two, C or D, is 8. Yeah, okay. And if this was 3, this digit would have to be 6. If this was 7, though, this could be 2 or 4. Yeah, I don't know. If this, hang on. Do I know the polarity of this? I think I almost do. If that was 7, this would be 2 or 4, would be low, and that would be 3 and 5, and that would make this 8. If this was 3, that would be 6. These would be 5 and 7, which would make this 2. So that, in both cases, has been the same polarity as this. If it's 1, that might be a different case. Because then this can't be 2, but it can still be 4. And that hasn't affected this line and whether it has a 2 or an 8 on. So it is a different case, and it's an annoyingly different case, and I don't know the answer. Wow. I've sort of coloured this whole row, so I don't think that's giving me any extra clues. Coloured it with pink and green is what I mean. This one I haven't, and I feel like I'm missing something there. This one, the O's are the important thing here, I think. Because they're going to take this digit, which already can't be 2. So that's 4, 6 or 8. Doesn't make it necessarily the same as this, unfortunately, but if it was 6, these would have to be 3 and 9. If it was 4, these would have to be 7 and 9. And if it was 8, these would have to be 3 and 5. So they are very constrained by this O, but they all depend on what it actually is. If this digit was 5, this would have to be an 8. This would have to be a 3. Okay, that's interesting. So if this was 5, this would be 3, 7, 3, 5, 5. Wow, I just don't know. I don't know how to make progress. I do know roughly what's going on in the puzzle, but I'm failing to spot something that is going to be absolutely critical. There's no extra rules. I'm not missing a rule. There's just nothing extra apart from the ones I'm using. I mean, I could assume this was green 4, 6 because it's not 2, 8. It would be very convenient, but I don't think that's how we want to play the game today. This is the same polarity as this. So if this is 4, this digit is 2. Otherwise, this is 6 or 8, and this is 6 or 8. So weirdly, the one digit this can't be is 4. I hadn't appreciated that that was available as a deduction, which is strange. And that's X, and that's just looking at this digit. That's just not helpful. So I labelled this line as of some importance. It's got 3 odds and that even. So if that even was a 2, these would have to be, I think I've gone through this a moment ago, 5, 7, 9. And if this was a 4, they would have to be 1, 7, 9. If this was a 6, they would be 1, 3, 9. And if it was an 8, they would be 1, 3, 5. And I just don't think that helps. If I could claim a 5 X-wing between those cells and those cells, that might be something in terms of keeping 5 out of these, but I don't think there's any claim for that particularly. X is here, they're no use. Wow, I don't know what to do. I'm really floundering now. This can't be a 3-7 pair because of that digit. But oh, well, I've learned that these are either 3-5 or 5-7. Do I know their opposite polarity to that? Or one of them is? No, I know it's... I don't think I know anything. Ah! If this was a 3, that would be an 8. 8, 3, 5, 7. Oh, what could this be? That's also, no, 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 no. I'm mixing up my metaphors. That's very bad. The circles are these three. It's the X's that are these ones. Yeah, sorry, I was about to go off on a totally wrong tangent. Okay, in this column, we've had a pink and a green up here. So one of these is pink and one of them is green. And they're the odd digits. These are the opposite of this one. Oh, well, hang on. Yes. This is pink. The one that isn't 5 here has to be green, 3, 7. Otherwise it would touch that. So that means this is pink. And that means on a count in this column, this is green. And that's a 1, 9, so this one is pink. Now, pink 1, 9 is going into one of those cells in box 6, and therefore there in box 3. That's quite interesting. Green 1, 9 is not here. That's green 3, 7. That's green 1, 9. Okay, well, something has started to happen again. It's not a lot. This is pink 3, 7 because it's all that's left up here. That doesn't answer this one because one of these is green 3, 7. I mean, if I knew that was, no, I've just found that's 3, 7. So now I've got 1, 9, 3, 7. Yeah, I knew that. These are 5. So a hypothetical green cell helped me there. Now, that is a green polarity even digit. Yes, what do I know? Oh no, this is a useless column. It's not got a line in it. Has that done anything with A, B, C, D? I don't think so, because they're the evens, and I was really only achieving anything with the odds a moment ago. That 3, 7, pink 3, 7 is in one of these cells. Can it be there? Yeah, I just don't. Well, oh look, this cell sees pink 3, 7 and green 3, 7 now. So it can't be either and is 9. That's only the second digit that's not a 5 that I've managed to put in the grid. This is not 9. This is green 3, 7. What's that going to do? 9 is now in one of these two cells. Yes, bingo. 9 is in one of these two, and we know its colour. Pink is high. Wow, that has taken a long time to get to, but it's gonna help get some certainty about numbers. So 9, 7 pair there. This is a 3. Pink is high. I can just write in 6 and 8. C has become 8. That was over here. 8 and 9. Pink is high. 7. Green is low. 4, 2, 3, 1. I mean, it's a huge revelation. Green is low, so that's a 3, 2, 1. This is 7 and 9. Pink is high. Green is low. 1, 3, 4. Oh, it got 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, proving its position. And now that we are getting a little bit of certainty about digits, it's much easier to play Sudoku and see where the digits are. That's a 2, 4 pair. One of these is 1 or 7. Yeah, I don't know. 2, 6, 8 still to go in this box. So that's 6 or 8, which is high. Now, in this row, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 6, 8 pair, and this platter is 7 or 9. That's high. These don't have a 7 in there, 5 and 3. These are from 2, 4, 6. 8 is down in one of these cells. I'm sure that's not going to help. B is 4 or I don't know its height. These are from 4, 6, 8. That one can't be 4. That's a 4, 6, 8 triple in the row. I'm just going to rely on that and put a 2 in here. I hope the pencil marking's right. 2 I'm going to label as a low digit, because why not? Now, that was interesting. 2 is now in one of these two cells along with 5. And is 2 in one of those? Not necessarily. No, it might be, might not. That's even and is 6 or 8. So is that, because they're high. This is low, 2 or 4. Now, let's go back to the columns and rows which I've written the lines in. I mean, this one's probably done. 1, 4, 9 are on the line. We've finished that line. Bother. This one is the O's are 9. 1 or 7 there, and 2, 4 or 6 here. But we don't know the polarities of this 1, 7. I don't think we do. There's still a lot of polarities I don't know, even though I've got quite a few digits in the grid now. Oh, I'm feeling better just getting digits in, actually. 6, 8 pair there. These are from 1, 7, 9. That's probably not really worth noting. These are from 1, 5, 7. But again, I feel good getting digits in the grid. Still do. One of these two is an 8. Yeah, we should go back to the lines. We should go back to the lines like this one, which has got this. And so the O's involve that blue digit, that even, which can't be 8 if that's 9 or 7. So let's say 2, 4 or 6. If it was 4, what did we say these would be? 1, 7, 9. If it was 6, there'd be 1, 3, 9. I mean, I don't think I've got a means of telling about how that works. There is a 1 in one of these two cells in this box. Oh, well, there's a 1 down there that says that's not a 1, so I can just write that 1 in when I finally notice this. Had 4 1s looking into the box. Isn't that annoying? There's a 1 in one of those two cells if I'm looking for 1s. Right, that means this can't be a 2 on the same circles. So that is now 4 or 6. And this circle-y line couldn't have 6 and 7 on. Oh, and it's got all of these are on the circle-y line. Right, well 2 is not, so I can ignore the 1. But this can't be 5 anymore if that's 4 or 6. That's what it does. And if this was 3, oh yeah, 3, 6, 9 would be all right. I was going to say it's different polarity to that. All I know is 5 is not here. 5 is not here and is in one of these two. Now, something earlier that I was looking at seemed to make that important. What was that? How could 5 be here? Only if that was an 8. And then we'd have 1, 5, 8. And that would have to be a 3. I was going to go to some lengths to prove one of those was 5, but I can do that by just looking in its column. Have I finished this line? We've got the X is 1, 3, 6, 8. And the O's are 2, 5, 7, 9. That line is no use. It probably wasn't a lot of use when I drew it, but it's none at all now. Now this line is on the X 3, 5, 8. And on the O's, yeah, that's still not resolved, in that these are going to have a bearing on each other. So I'm going to reduce the length of the line here. Just connect up the bits that matter, which are those two bits. 1 can't go with 2 and 7 can't go with 6 is all I know there. So then it's just these two lines down columns 4 and 6 that seem to have the data I need. Isn't that crazy? Oh, 8 has to be in one of these cells. I thought I'd pencil marked that earlier. Eight is either there or there. Is it? Yes. That's not, we've pencil marked that as not 8, and that can't be 8 because of the 6-8 pair. So that is an X-wing on 8s, and that can't be 8, and this one is. I know it's not going to do anything. This is 2 or 6 now, and that has to go in this cell, in this box. So A is 2 or 6. Which is a bit of a surprise to even narrow it down that far. This digit is 2, 6, or 8. A is 2 or 6, B is 4 or 6, D here in the corner. I mean, it could be any of them, couldn't it? I didn't manage to label any other cell as D when I was doing those A's, B's, C's earlier. Nine is in one of these cells. Maybe there's something about 9 having to be on both of these lines. Well, what does have to be on these lines? If that's, oh, this is interesting. These two have to be kept apart. They can't touch. So that's either a 3-6 pair or a 4-7 pair. If that was 4-7, this would be 9. And if it's 3-6, this would again be 9. Either 6 or 7 is on this line. So this can't be 7 and must be 9. And that fixes 7 and 9 here. And it probably does nothing else at all. One of these two is a 7. And the other one's a 3. Sorry, it's just blindingly obvious. Right, and this one then is on this line. So if that's a 3, this has to be 6. And no, that's not got a circle. So that, stop talking your nonsense, Mark. If that's a 7, this has to be 4. And then this would be impossible. Couldn't be 7 and couldn't be 5 or 3. So that is not a 7, that is a 3. This is a 7. These aren't 7. And this isn't 3. And this is probably 9. I don't know. No, okay, 3 is on this line on the circles. That can't be 4 anymore. That's 6 or 8, and that's a 6-8 pair, and this can't be 6 anymore. That's 2 or 4. And the circles on this line contain 3. Oh, look, if that's 5 or 7, this can't be 6. That's 8, this is 5 to Nabnerize those cells. And that might actually get quite a lot done. 7 there on a line with 4. And this line now has 1, 9, 4, 7 on, and that's perfectly acceptable, and I'm taking the line away. And what about this line? The circles are 1, 3, 5, 8. That's fine. This digit's become a 6, and that's on a tiny little nabner here with a digit that can't be 5 or 7 and must be 9 now. And that line's done its full job finally. Wow, this was hard. This was hard. I've still got one line to go. I'm loving my marking system on those lines. This can't be 8, so the 8 in the row is there. I'm sorry, I'm going to take this very carefully and slowly because I don't want to mess up now. That's become a 4 because of the 2-6 pair. This 2-5 pair has got resolved, so obviously, yes, I can colour them. If I can remember my whole colour scheme, that'll be great. And this is not 2, 4, 6 or 8. It is yellow. It's actually 7. And this one is 2, 3 or 6. And in the row, it's 2 or 3. But we must be able to tell it's parity in the column. Yeah, that's 3 in the column. So that's 2. And this is 6. And this is 2. A is 2. That's down here. That's 6, 2. And that's got to be on a line with 7, not with 1. Wow, here we go. So that's all the lines done. That's a 5-7 pair. This is a 1-9 pair. That 2-4 has been resolved. This is a 4. This must be a 6. Can we do all the evens to start with? That's 4 or 6, and that's 4 or 6. So not a great start there. Oh my goodness. Don't tell me I can't do all the evens. I've got no more lines. Oh, look, I've got a line down here that I never even spotted. 1, 3, can't have a 4. So that's 6. Maybe it would have helped if I'd seen that quite some time ago. 8 and 6. 8 and 6. Oh, brilliant. 1-9 pair are done. And the 5-7 pair. And this is a 7, this is a 1, this is a 3. I know my colouring is not completely up to scratch, but I don't need the rest, and I'm determined to finish this puzzle now. So here we go, please be right. And that is Sudoku. That is an incredible puzzle by Hanka. It's the sort of puzzle I'm left feeling that if I was able to encapsulate it better in my brain, I would be much better at solving it. I'll be very interested to see whether some of you guys found it easy, because I'm very impressed if you did. Very impressed. Or, you know, easier. I don't think anybody's going to find it really easy, but you might find it a 25, 35-minute puzzle, and I really didn't. That was an hour. A solid hour for me, a solid hour of enjoyment. Do join me tomorrow for more variant Sudoku. Streaming on Mondays, Cryptic Masterclass on Fridays, 2 Sudoku videos a day. Why aren't you subscribed? See you tomorrow. Bye for now.